guys, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the General Hospital edition. All right, guys, today is Friday. Yay, September the 9th, 2022. Let's get right into it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to have to give it was a solid to me. I'll give it 7.5. It was solid. All right, so we see Dante and Sam, and they're just talking about their moving and everything. And Dante gets a phone call and he says, I guess Connor is a neighbor or something. But anyways, they saw Dante moving out and his brother is like, hey, I want to buy that house. And so Dante is just like, it feels like he should be making that decision with Lulu or whatever. So like, I guess it just brings to, someone else said this, and I think it's too, like they're bringing up Lulu a little, they're bringing up Lulu a lot. So I feel like maybe she's coming back. So I feel like something is going to happen and, I'm here for that. But anyway, so now he has to think about that. And he just says it feels like a decision he should be making with Lulu. So he doesn't know. So then we see that, Sam says she understands this is all, this all can be overwhelming, but they're very happy to be moving in together. And then they talk about Cody, and she says she likes his relationship with Cody, and she feels like Cody's a good guy, and she's a judge of character. I said Cody is clearly up to something. So Dante, don't listen to Sam. Trust your instincts, because Cody is clearly up to something. He said, because she was like, well, I wonder what Cody was talking to Sonny about, and he was like, or Sonny was talking to Cody about. He was like, I don't know, but Sonny isn't the only one who's watching Cody. Because Dante keeps saying, yeah, we were kids and all, but I don't know. There's just something about, like, he's not all the way trustworthy is what Dante keeps saying. So then we go to Matt, Felicia, and Maxie, and they are all talking about, how Cody could possibly be Mac's child. And Mac is just like, listen, Cody's like older, he's an older young man. It's not like he needs me in his life or anything. And they said, you don't know that. And he was like, Max said, I like the way my life is right now. I don't want to be adding new people. And just Maxie was like, but you'll have a child of your own. She said, and he says, you are enough for me. And everything. Mac is just a good dude. And I see why he can be apprehensive about adding Cody along. He doesn't know any about him. He doesn't know anything about him. He doesn't know if he's going to bring drama. He doesn't know anything. So he said he doesn't want to blow up Cody's life if it turns out that he's not the father. You are the father, sir. If they're writing the storylines, you are probably the father or whatever. But anyways, he doesn't want to do all that with Cody. So he doesn't know. And so when Maxie leaves, he just tells Felicia he's content with his life. He and Felicia are in a good place. They're raising they're helping them raise their grandchildren, and they're just content. And she says, but that just because Cody is older and everything, he's not a child, that doesn't mean he won't need a father in his life. She's trying to show Mac the positive. And she said, and I would love Cody as much as you loved my girls, So then, we go to Britt and Cody, and she says, what have you done? And he says, nothing. And then Cody goes say, lawyers it sounds like I might need a lawyer. Lawyers are expensive. I might need to leave time. I said, sir, what are we talking about here? Overreaction much? And Britt said, so you gonna leave town? Like, because they asked you questions? And he was like, okay, yeah, I might be overreacting, but would you be if I leave town? And I said, Lord, yes, Britt, just tell the man yes. Just tell the man you want him and stuff so we can stop going through this or whatever. But she's curious as like, what are you hiding? Like, what would you be hiding? He said, we all have secrets. And she said, nah, my secret's pretty much out there in the open. But not that secret Miss Wu is holding over your head. But anyways, so I don't know. He's just like, you know what? It sounds like Mac needs to be, she said, as long as you don't punch Mac in the face or whatever, like you did Scott, I don't see what the big deal is. And he said, it sounds like Mac needs to be punched in the face, but baby Maxie heard that and she said, say what you said again. and Britt tries to defuse the situation. He said, but it just sounds like he's going after me. She's like, he's the chief of the police. He's supposed to interrogate you. They have to find out who did what they did to Ava. And he was like, I don't even know her name. So I'm not going to be the one that, with that hurt her or whatever. And he said, because I don't know her name, so it wouldn't be me. So then we see where she's just like, okay, but why don't you just talk to Mac and tell him so that he can mark you off the list or whatever? And he was like, yeah, I mean, maybe. He said, but I just, he don't want to be interrogated by the police. And so Maxie and Britt talk, and she says, maybe I was wrong about him. You shouldn't date him anymore, whatever. And Britt is like, what? And she says, and Maxie tells her, she said, I promise you, he's hiding something. That who doesn't want to be just answer the police's questions? And she says, haven't the police accused you of something that you weren't, before that you didn't do it? She said, yeah, but every time the police thought I was up to something, that I was. So she said, I'm telling you, Britt, he's up to something. And then we see Cody call, and I think he's talking to Mac, and he tells him, can I please speak with you? I think we got off on the wrong foot or whatever. So then, child, we see Victor and Sonny. And Sonny asks Victor, he says, Victor, you've made a lot of messes. How you going to clean them up? And Victor says, I don't know what you're talking about. He says, well, tell me about Ava, And Victor says, are you trying to imply, because he ain't Sonny talk or whatever. And he says, tell me what happened with Ava and Nicholas. He says, I know for a fact Ava wasn't staying at Windermere because she had a room here. I dropped Avery off here. And he says, and I know it's not because of Esme, because he said, but people would think, okay, it's because of Esme. He said, but Esme is gone, so you tell me what happened. And Victor is just like, listen, this is our family business or whatever. And so then he said, who did that to Ava? And Sonny also tells him, and you sitting here got Spencer going to prison because he's covering up for you, but it was Spencer's idea to get out of jail and go see Courtney's grave. So that really is not Victor's fault. He did help him, but he told Spencer over and over no, and then Spencer guilt tripped him, so he went ahead and helped him or whatever. But anyways, so he said, but Sonny is just like, so what? Who attacked Ava or what? Or that kind of thing. And Victor is just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And don't imply that my family had anything to do with it. And Sonny was just pretty much like, listen, if I find out that you did anything to Ava, you and Nicholas are going to have to answer to me. And then he said, all right, but that's all I got to say. I'll be talking to you later, old pal. I said, well, okay. Oh yeah, he told Victor to leave Ava alone. Like, don't mess with her anymore. Leave Avery's mother alone, because at the end of the day, that's what that's about for Sonny. He like, that's my child's mother, and you're not finna go around here messing with her. Because remember when Victor told Ava she didn't have nobody that could protect her and would help her or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know why you think that. But anyways, let's move on. So Frank, Trina, and Nicholas. So Nicholas is trying to get into the room, and Trina is coming up, right? And Frank is like, no, I can't let you in. And Nicholas said, excuse me? I don't know who told you why Sonny told you I couldn't be on my wife's list. And he said, actually, it's Miss Jerome who told me not to let you in or whatever. And so Trina trying to diffuse the situation. She said, maybe Ava's not up for visitors. Let's go and have a coffee. And then when we come back, she'll feel better. And Frank said, oh, no, she can see you, Miss Robinson. I said, Frank, you messy for that. You messy. He said, oh, no, she can see you, Miss Robinson. She actually waiting on you. But this one right here, he can't come in. He didn't say that last part. I said that. But that's what he was saying. You go in, but this one right here, he can't come. And so he tells Trina, will you please tell my wife I'm going to see Spencer off and everything? And she was like, yes. So then Trina goes in the room with Ava, and it's always cute with them. And so she tells her, about everything that's going on with her. And she said, why you don't want Nicholas in this room or whatever? And Ava tells her, don't worry about it, because Ava and Trina are really good. She looks at Trina as her daughter, and Trina looks at Ava as a mother figure. But the dark side of Ava and her life, she don't really let Trina in on, and I'm cool with that. But anyway, so she tells Trina, tell me what's going on with you or whatever. And Trina starts saying, I had a surprise guest at my party. She said that she got the Title IX decision and she felt bad, like sitting here, going to get that and being happy while Ava was fighting for her life. And Ava was like, no, ma'am, I would want you to be happy. And I'm happy that, that's taken care of for you. And she said, my mom and them threw me a party. And she was like, well, tell me about that. And that's when Trina was telling her she had an unexpected guest. And then Trina started trying to talk about everything else that wasn't important. And Ava said, okay, I'm happy for all that, but you're deflecting. Tell me what about this guest. And so she said it was Spencer. And she said, I don't know what he wants from me. Like, one minute he's like, he did stuff to help me. And then the next minute, he was all supporting Esme and all this kind of stuff. She said, I'm so confused. She said he had this letter. He didn't want me to see it. He said, we're not friends. And she said, I'm just so confused by Spencer. So Ava had to just let the cat out the bag. She said, listen, girl, the boy likes you. He really does care about you. She said he knew from the very beginning that you were innocent or whatever, and he just used Esme as a ruse, because she said at the end of the day, he was like, I don't want Esme making this girl's life harder or whatever, and I know if she knows my feelings for Trina, she would. And Ava said, and the truth be told, he was absolutely right. Esme would have made your life harder or whatever if she had really known his feelings, the whole time. She suspected, but she wasn't 100% sure or whatever. And so Trina was like, wait, he cares about me? And she was like, anybody with half a brain and common sense or something, she said, can see that that boy is crazy about you, girl. She said, no, but Trina, listen, Rory or Spencer, you got to make up your mind. You got to do what's best for you, but you let actions speak, not words. Like, and I said, yes, tell her, Ava, tell her. And so she said, Trina was like, should I go see him? She said, it's up to you, but you tell me how it goes. And I said, keep me informed too, girl, because this is interesting to me. So then we see Rory go in there with Jordan, right? So Rory goes in, Jordan gets Rory, and she says, I have a prisoner. You got to get ready to transfer. I just need to know that you can be, that you won't be biased or whatever. And so the prisoner is Spencer. And so Rory's talking to him and everything, getting ready, and Spencer giving him a hard time, really. And Rory said, I could get you, hooked up in the library so you could, he could be safe and stuff. Well, not safe, but he could try to help him out, get him a nice deal or whatever. And Spencer just like, I don't need your help. And Rory said, like, listen, it looked like you and Trina had something going on. And he said, you don't have to worry about me. Whatever me and Trina had, it's done. It's over. We both need to move on to be happy, so you don't have to worry about me. Rory said, I'm not worried. You should be, sir. You should be. So then Nicholas come in talking about, Jordan, I want to see my son. And she said, I have some questions to ask you about Ava. I said, Jordan, ain't nobody thinking about Ava right now. And you know Ava, my girl. But this man is trying to see his son before he go to prison. Now, you're going to have to hold this investigation. You've been holding it. You ain't been going over there to see him or whatever and try to talk to him. He had to come in here, and now you want to ask some questions. You hold yourself together. Hold yourself for just a second and let him go and see his son, even though his son don't want to see him. And so she said, you can go on in there and see him, but you be sure you leave your information. I said, girl, you don't have Nicholas' number. Stop it, Jordan. Y'all be killing me when y'all want to decide to be some detectives or whatever. So anyways, then we see Rory and Jordan talks, and she tells him, he tells her that everything. She tells him that you did a really great job keeping it professional with Nicholas, and she was proud of him about that. And so he asked her, he did tell her that he spoke about Trina. She said, yeah, but I didn't hear any fussing. Y'all didn't get loud. It was nothing. So he asked her about Taggart and what he could do to win him over. He said, let me know if it's overstepping. She said, it is overstepping. I said, go, Jordan, just tell the boy. She said, but since you did ask, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. He likes the bills, and just be yourself or whatever. Oh, y'all, I feel like they're going to make something come up in Rory's past, and we're going to all be wanting Trina back with Spencer, because to be honest with you, I want Trina with whoever she wants to be with. If it's Rory, okay. If it's Spencer, okay. So then we go to Spencer and Nicholas. Baby, Nicholas stepped foot in that room. He put one foot past that doorway. And Spencer said, get out. I said, my gosh. Spencer said, get out. And Nicholas says, I'm just trying. You're my son, and I love you. He said, if you don't get out of here, I'm going to tell Commissioner Ashford what you and Ava were really arguing about. And Victor said, no, you're not. That's what you're not going to do. Or whatever. And so he tells him, no, you're not going to tell Commissioner Ashford what they were arguing about or whatever. He said, unless you already been up in here spilling your guts. And he said, no, I haven't. But I'm here to, but if he don't leave me alone, I'm going to tell or whatever. And Victor trying to rein Nicholas and Spencer in, because he said, how could y'all possibly think that I had something to do with Ava? And he said, do you remember Hayden? Spencer said, you remember Hayden? And he started going off, and I said, what's going on? And Victor just is like trying to rein them in and tell them to be quiet so he could take care of everything. I said, sir, I don't think you'll be able to take care of this, because these two, not these two, but Spencer can't stand Nicholas. And finally Victor tells Nicholas, you need to go so your son about to leave. Go ahead and leave. So Spencer just leaves, but he tells Nicholas he's gonna be thinking about him and stuff. And so then Spencer and Victor talk, and he says, Rory comes in and says it's time to take the prisoner or whatever. And Spencer goes outside, and Victor's like, what is it? And he said, I thought it was more people going to be here. I said, damn, because didn't nobody come? Not Cam, not Jocelyn, not Britt, not Trina's not there. Like, dang, Laura's gone. Sonny not there. Like, he got some friends and family, but didn't nobody show up for him or whatever. And I was like, it is what it is, sir. Let's move on. So then Victor tells Nicholas he brought him to, is it the Savoy or the Metro? Anyways, he brought him out to drink. And he said he brought him to a public place because he don't need Nicholas trying to get loud. And he said, and if we break something, you can just put it to get back together again with glue. I say, well, what, Victor, what you about to tell this man or whatever? But that's it with them, y'all. So then we see Sonny and Ava. So Sonny goes in, and Ava says, she in a little pain, but she all right. She said, she enjoys resting, but she has nightmares whenever she gets to sleep. And she thanks Sonny for protecting her or whatever. And he says, who am I protecting you from, Ava? And we're going to see if she tell him, because he knows something done went down. And I said, Sonny, I thought you had figured out that Ava had did something to Esme. Why y'all not thinking this is Esme? I don't know, child. But anyways, then we see Trina gonna bust in. Am I too late? And Jordan said, Trina, how can we help you? And she ran to the interrogation room and said, oh God, am I too late? Rory's standing there, and he said, you just missed him. And she said, oh, and hit the door. I said, girl, pull yourself together in front of this man. Woo! Rory, I think you got this girl by default. I don't know. I like Rory and Trina together, but baby, y'all, her heart's not in it. Let's move on. So then we see Spencer here. I said, y'all really put my boy in prison? Oh, Lord. Spencer got on that jumpsuit, that orange jumpsuit, and he's in prison thinking Trina didn't care. Thinking Trina didn't care about him, but baby, she came to see you. Yeah, that was General Hospital. It is the weekend. Don't forget to enjoy yourselves. Be safe. Be blessed. I will see you Monday for all new episodes of What Happened on the Soaps General Hospital edition. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.